Hello, hello. Sorry I was just a few minutes late. Just a few. Just two. Hi, bestie. How are you? Waiting for a few people to jump on so we can talk about this project we're going to do tonight. There's magnets on the back of that, making it wiggle around. Well, look, I see 4 people. Who's joining me tonight? Hi, Mom. Did you guys know that Sweet Sentiment has a new release on Saturday? Well, that's what I've been working on all night, and I got a few cards done, and I realized, oh my gosh, it's 9:58. I need to get busy. So I had to toss all my stuff off my desk to make it open for you guys so we could color these sweet little geckos. So this is called Gecko Act together. Kind of funny, play on words. And I couldn't decide if I wanted to do this little gecko or this little gecko. So I decided, hello Cheryl, I decided that I would combine them. So these are the dies that you can get as well to cut them out. And I decided, I'll show you, I stamped it already, but I'm also going to explain how I stamped it. So this is what we're going to color tonight. And I wonder how many people thought about sticking this little guy only halfway on the picture. Is Ellen here? Because we were going to talk about this. So this is this little guy. You never thought about it? I thought it was really cute. And I also thought, so I'm going to turn my Misty. This is the Misty. And what I did was I put the paper in here. It doesn't work in the smaller Misty because there's not enough room to put the gecko up there. So I put him on the paper. And then I put the hey, hi, hello. And I stuck this little guy up here in the corner so he was off of the paper, so you'd only have a little bit of him. And I thought it was funny because it looks like he's going, hey, pay attention to me. So I thought that would be super fun. And that way I got both geckos on there at the same time. So I was super excited about that. So that's how I stamped. I used the stamps we won't have to color the full both of them, but we will have a little bit of coloring on each one. So anyway, I thought that would be super fun, but I wanted to show you guys how I did it because I still used my Misty. I just did not stamp the whole little guy, just part of him. And those who know me, you'll start laughing. Hi Phyllis, hi Cheryl. You guys will laugh at me, but I'm really, really specific about getting these back on there so they match up perfectly. So when people borrow my stamps, usually when I get them back, I sit there and I put them all back on the stamp set because most people just throw them back on there. But I'm really picky about that. So there we go. This is the stamp set. These are the dies. And this is the image that we're going to color tonight. Oh, Bear's watching a movie. I was watching a movie too. It's called All About Steve. It's been pretty good so far. But it was right at the end and I was like, oh, It's 10 o'clock. I'll have to watch it after. Hi, Deborah. So I did not pick the colors for these little guys, but I figured it wouldn't be too challenging for us to pick them. So I think, I don't know, do we want to do them green? We could do them blue. You like yours on the sheet the right way too? Yeah, I'm really picky about that. In fact, I had somebody borrow them once, and the other girl goes, you better put them back on there exactly right, because that's the way she likes it. That was pretty funny. Yellow? Yellow. We could do yellow and blue. How about yellow and blue? Let's do yellow and blue. We'll do them yellow and blue together. Color them both kind of the same, but let's see. I want to use, let me see, what yellows? So I'm currently looking. You're in Erie now? You're just traveling around, aren't you? Okay, so let's see. I want to do like a teal kind of blue. Black dots on the tail. I thought I would show how to use the colorless blender for the tail, because I thought that would be super cool and different than what we usually see. So I thought I would try that so I could show that difference. Okay, so for yellow, let's go with, and we're going to use that Y11 again, you know, because I love it so much. And then I think, since we're just jumping in here, sort of sporadically, I'm going to use my tester so we can test the colors before we go with them. It is past her bedtime, but I keep her up. That's the way I roll. So I think we're going to use Y18 and 15 and 13. And then I want to throw this one in there. So I wanted to see how well that one would work. So I might want to put that one before 13. So that's Y32, Y13, and Y11. So these are going to be our yellow colors. So we have Y18, Y15, Y32, Y13, and Y11. Hi, Kirsten. So I'm going to use that in my first little Copic marker holder here. And then I'm going to do my blue color in this one because I luckily have two. And I think we're going to go for, B18. I like the B18. And we'll go with 16. Perfect. And then once we start getting down to 14 and 12, the color gets a little more dull. So I'm going to switch over to, oops, wrong end. Maybe I want 15 in this one too. That one doesn't blend quite. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so this one is BG15. Then we'll do BG13. And then I think we'll do BG11. Yeah. So there's our blue colors. Hi, Glenda. So we have B18, B16, BG15, 13, and 11. And we're going to do them in these colors right here. Okay. So I haven't decided on their eyes yet. I could do, you know, red or blue or green, or maybe we'll throw some green in there since we have a blue-green color going on. So I'm going to start with the Y's. I'm going to start with the yellow color because I'm going to do his tummy, a little bit of his tail down here, probably his little feet in yellow. And I haven't decided if I'm going to put any yellow on his face yet, but I'm going to go ahead and start with Y18. And I'm just going to build this little area in here where I want to put the yellow. We're going to kind of give him a little bit of a line here. So then we're going to come out and we're going to put a little bit of a line down here on his tail. Just like that. So that'll kind of be my guide for that. I'm also going to do it around his hands. What do you call them? Hands, paws? I don't know. And his yellow back here as well. I don't know what you call them. But I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit here where the artist drew the lines for his little chest. A little bit here by his hand and behind his arm. And a little bit down here. Hi, Aunt Candy. Next, we're going to go with Y15. And I'm going to tuck this right here. Just kind of following that path where that belly is. Why do I always use a 5-color blend? I don't. Jamie does though. But I like to be able to use 5 colors so I can have a really smooth gradient of colors. So that's usually why I use 5-color blend when I do, but I don't always. It just depends on how big the space is and how much I'm going to color and how much of a gradient I want between one color and the other. So I don't always use it. If you've watched some of the previous lives or if you want to go catch them out on YouTube, I use 3 sometimes as well. Y32. Now this one's going to take some of the really bright yellow out of it and make it more of a natural, like a, I don't know, it says cashmere yellow, but I don't really know much about that. I don't have any cashmere stuff. You're welcome. Jamie uses 7 or 9. I don't go that far. I mean, I guess if I did a rainbow, I use a whole lot of them. But just not in general. I don't generally use that many markers. Depends on what I'm coloring, I think. And how much planning I've done. If I planned out and tested my colors, I usually stick with the same ones, but if I don't, then sometimes it ends up being a little bit more colors because I'll just keep throwing colors in there till it's the way I like it. So I'm just bringing these out. I want his little toes or fingers or whatever you want to call them are going to be the really bright Y11. He is peeking out from underneath the marker stand. So funny. I just love him peeking over there in the corner. I was really excited about that. And I was like, oh, just think of the background you can create with that. Which I don't know if we'll have time for tonight, but maybe Depends on how we're doing. So now I'm just smoothing it out so it's smooth. I'm going to kind of do the edge where I put the darkest color just to sort of soften that harsh line. I just could not wait to do this with you guys. Hi, Marianne. So now I'm just going to do all the tips of those little bitty fingers or toes or whatever you want to call them. Those little suction fingers. Look at how cute that is. So cute. Maybe I'll give him yellow eyes. So there is his belly. That's got him part of the way. He might be a faster color, so we might be able to do some background stuff tonight. Although I have absolutely no idea what I would do. You're new? Okay, flip in now to my blue tones. So B18 is going to be the first one. That's the darkest color. And I'm going to start on his head. I want to do it right here underneath his eye a little bit. Both sides. One color from both sides tonight. Just a little bit up there. Saturday new release. I know what Friday is. Do you want to talk about it, Jamie, or do you want me to talk about it? I'm super excited. Enabler Friday. We could call it that. Okay, gonna put just a little under this little chin area right here. And along this bottom part down here. This little head will cover, causing a bit of a shadowing there. And all his little wrinkles. Floral Friday! Floral Friday. Did you guys see what Tyler's going to do on Floral Friday? OMG. I cannot wait. I hope I don't have to do any work tomorrow, so I don't want to miss that. It's super awesome. Hi, Angela. So I am going to put a little bit behind his arm here, along his belly. I don't like him to be sharp curves, so I'm kind of rounding that a little bit. Giving him some wrinkles, because we all have them even when we're young. I refuse to grow up. I'm just going to stay young and wrinkled. It must be nice knowing the manufacturer. It is very nice. And by the way, they're up on the site now, pictures and everything. And there are several different colors in the shop. So if pink is not your thing, purple is your thing, they're this color purple. Woo woo! Isn't that pretty? I wish mine were purple, but I have the prototypes. It's good to know the manufacturer, but it's also, I don't get all the benefits. Wrinkling is bothering me. Me too. Oh, Julie, yours are out for delivery? That's awesome. I bet you're super excited about that. Because they are awesome to use. They've been so helpful in the lives as well. So just kind of separating those little areas, touching up his little wrinkles here. I'm going to do just a little bit thicker down here. I think it needs to be a little bit thicker. And around his belly. Just going to do a little bit of brush strokes out from his belly now that I built that little fence area there. Threaten the postman. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it like that for right now. Usually when I do their mouth like that, I usually give it the same color inside their mouth pretty close to what's on the outside. I don't know why. I just usually do. Should I bring you C's when I come to Florida? His smile is the best. Oh, slippery little suckers. Sorry for the earthquake. I dropped the caps again. That's what happens when you keep them all clean. Then they're slippery little suckers. Okay, so this one I'm going to go a little bit more under his eye. And this is going to change to a lighter blue color, leaving his shadows really, really prominent. He'll look funny for a little bit, but in the end, it will all come together. So I'm using the tip of the marker right now. No California Brickle Bars for you. I'm using the tip of it so I can do very tiny brush strokes. Because I don't want to put too much of this blue in there just yet. The next color will be our true color, so don't want too much in here just yet. Okay, I'm going to come along here. This is going to make it appear a little green if I touch too much of that yellow, so I got to be real careful. A little bit here too. So I don't really want to touch too much of that. And I may go back in ooh, Divinity. I bet your mama's going to make that. She makes really good sweets and granola bars. I would even take granola bars over Divinity because they're so good. So just coloring him in a little bit. I am going to give him some texture, but I'm going to do it with a little bit different technique than what we usually do. So bear with me. I'm going to go down his leg a little bit with these little brush strokes. Kind of moving them so they stay with the form of his body. He's looking pretty sharp in his blue. Baby dragons do sell really well, which makes me super duper happy. I'm very proud of my baby dragons. Everybody likes the baby dragons. There might have to be a 2.0 at some point. They're super fun to color too. I've colored a lot of them over the times. We'll do a little bit more on his tail with the next color. So Dale and I went out to eat tonight. Anybody go out to eat tonight? We went out to our favorite Taco Bueno. We didn't go in, but we just went through the drive-thru. And they messed up our order. No surprise there. So they handed us some nachos, and we ordered tacos. So I had to go in and ask them to fix the order, and then they gave us the nachos and our order. So we had more food than we could deal with. Okay, so now he's got a whole lot of personality. No, he hasn't eaten them all yet, but he's getting close. He was super excited about his Idaho candy when I took it out of the bag, although it was pretty squished from being in the suitcase, but oh well. It is what it is. So BG15 is next. So this one's going to change the tone a little bit again, because now it's going to have a little bit of the blue-green to it, which will go really well with whatever has bled over from the yellow to the blue. This is going to be a really cool looking little guy. Ooh, Italian chicken. Oh, that sounds really good. I would have been all about that too. But we had to run some errands, so we were out already. Came home and the dog went through my craft room trash can, which, you know, nobody ever likes that to happen. So he got himself in a little bit of trouble. I usually tell him when I go out to behave, but I forgot to tell him today, so he didn't behave. He did not behave at all. And right now he's currently sitting under my feet and moving around while I'm talking about him, because you know he's feeling guilty. This is our true color, so I'm using quite a bit more of this color. These will work really well for the Ukraine too, except it's a little bit more green than blue, but the blue and yellow works pretty good. Might be able to get away with that. It doesn't touch raw chicken. I don't like raw chicken. I won't touch anything in the kitchen. I have made peanut butter jelly before though, but that's about as far as I go. Toast. Kraft mac and cheese. I won't even do a frozen pizza because I burn it every time. Terrible in the kitchen. Oh yes. Well, maybe I'll have to send this card when I get done with it. I'm going to go around his little smile and his tongue with this color and his upper lip, just to kind of bring that together, since this is the true color of my little gecko. I like geckos. We have a lot of geckos here by our house. Yes, you did teach me how to make grilled cheese at Glenda's house, and I did it. Glenda always worries about me and whether I eat when I'm not there, when she's not there. And she had to go to work that day. And I was hungry, and Jamie talked me through it on the phone. It's so sad for someone my age to not know how to cook anything. But my hubby cooks it all, so I don't really have to. Mom's night, when the kids were little, when Dad wasn't home for whatever reason, Mom's night was always, oh, okay, what fast food place are we going to then? The kids loved it. Oh, it's Mom's night to cook. It's time to go out to eat. Yep. He is a good cook. He's a very good cook. Sometimes too good. Too many spices for me. Okay, BG13 is the next one. This little guy's looking so cute. Anybody coloring with me? Anybody own these awesome little geckos? They're available in the shop. They can be any color you want. Super fun. Doing this really softly because I don't want his tongue to be green, although it could if I felt like it, but I'd rather not. Yes, I do like taco night at the Clark house a lot. always makes me happy. I even tried to get it twice when I was up there. Taco night twice when I was up there this last time. But I lost out to Evan. He wanted pizza. Oh, this is so meditative. It's starting to soften up that color, and he's looking really cute. I know, right? Everybody said different colors. They know me. They're going to say rainbow for you, Jamie, not me. They know I don't do the rainbows very often. I will when we do that release that I was coloring the other day. I could do rainbows then. Eek. I love this color on the gecko. A lot. He ate every slice of leftover pizza. Well, you go, Evan. Good job. It was good pizza, I'll give you that. All right, so we have just little areas left that we're going to use our last color. I'm going to put a little bit of this in his mouth. You don't hear my Copics? That's because they have juice. BG11. Right? You should just do rainbow geckos. No one should have to ask. You know you want to, because you love the rainbow stuff so much. And you're so good at it. And I'm so not good at it. Yet. I'm practicing though. Just in case someone says rainbow, I'm practicing. This is a really light color, so it's going to leave some of that highlight even when I color over it. He's so super cute. I am going to go over this just a little bit because it'll highlight that. Then we have this other little arm. His little body. Oh, I can't wait till they release this weekend. Got some cool stuff in it. And the like nails on a chalkboard. Yeah, I don't like it when they make that noise. I like them to be smooth, so I'll keep adding stuff, and if it keeps doing it, then I'll change the nib because I don't like that sound either. Sometimes some of the lighter colors do it though, even when they have juice in there. But not too often. Alrighty, look at his little wrinkles. He's so cute. You guys like him and his little white feet? I mean yellow feet. So let's do his tongue and his eyes before we do his texture, because I want to let it dry a little bit. A gray gecko. Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, so for his tongue, I'm going to use 3 colors. I know it sounds like a lot, but I'm going to use R22, 21, and 11. So first R22, and that's going to be the shadowy area. Yeah, I could see that, the caterpillar. Yeah, I could see that. This one is a pretty intense pink when you're looking at it. So I'm just doing the shadowy area with that pink. It looks a little bit more intense when you're looking at it for real. Then I'm gonna shadow that in a little bit and leave just the little tip for the R11. It's so cute. Oh my gosh. So that's really good. And then I need my colorless blender because that's what we're going to use. Let me see which one weighs more. This one. Okay, so first I'm going to do just one little light line on his tongue to give him that white highlight, which you could do with your white gel pen if you wanted. But I want to give him some little spots along his back and tail. So I'm going to use the colorless blender to do that. And so this is something that you guys can do with your colorless blenders. I'm just going to color little circles. And what it's going to do is it's going to move the ink out of the areas that I touch. I don't know if you can see that, but oh yeah, you probably can. So I'm just putting some little spots on him to give him some texture. I'm going to do it back here on his back as well. You want to do it just a little bit at a time and then do more if it's necessary, because if you do too much, you'll wash it out too much. So just do it gently, a little bit at a time, and go back if you need to. If one white gel pen for a tiny dot on his tongue, I might do that. So now I'm going to go over them one more time, and you'll see how much brighter they show up because we're moving. Because as you put the colorless blender on there, it'll move the ink, but because it's still wet, it may pull some of the color back in. So I have to go in there a second time to make it really stand out. I'm going to put him a little one right here on his neck as well. And then we have to do these ones again. Just following the same thing. You could do dots. I'm doing them kind of as little oval shapes. And I'm going to go back over it that second time, just to make sure. And you can keep doing that for however light you want those spots to be. Oh, you're fading fast? I'm not. I took a nap today. So I'm feeling really good right now. And then it looks really good like this, and you could leave it like this. But if you want to really accent those spots, I'm going to put a few on his head too. So I think that'll make it look really cute. So cute, right? Oh my gosh, biscuit cookies. Biscoff cookies sounds yummy. So if you like it like this, oh, thanks. If you like it like this, you can leave it like this, or you can go back in with your BG13 or 15, whichever one you want. And you can kind of put some little bit of lines around the bottom of it, and that'll make them more stand out a little bit more. Like this. So it's kind of your preference on how much you want them to appear and how you want them to look. It's up to you. But I would suggest trying both ways and seeing what you think. And I'm just putting it at the bottom of the circles I made. I'm going to go in when it dries just a little bit more and probably hit it one more time. There we go. So if I hold it up, you'll be able to really see it. So see all those little spots he has on him? I think they'll look a little better if I hit them one more time. But I want them to dry before I do that. So I'm going to wait on his eyes so I can do the eyes at the same time. I think I'm going to start on this guy up here. So I'm going to go back to my yellow. And I'm going to turn it around like I'm looking at him. It did make a big difference putting the little bit of blue underneath it. But it gives texture to it, and I really like that. So this little guy, I'm going to bring his little chest line right there. And then this is the whole part right here it's going to see as yellow. And then his little hands that he's waving with, because we want that to really stand out. And did you guys know that when you're picking up your marker, if the side with the gray line right there is always your brush nib? So if you're picking them up and you're and you're always opening the wrong end, you can train yourself to notice the gray line. Took me a while to figure that out, so I just thought I'd point that out. See if you guys already knew that or not. Kind of giving him that little bit of shape in his chest. So many color possibilities. So many. You can make those geckos any color you want. So many. That's why I like them so much. They're so adorable, and you can do so many things with them. And I especially, hi Kathy, I especially like this little one peeking out. I think that's cute. You could have him peek out on any kind of card. It would be so adorable. I wanted to show so many different ways you can color these little guys. They don't always have to be head on. They don't always have to be the same way. You can do all kinds of stuff with them. Here's Y13. I'm going to go and save the little tips of his fingers for the Y11. And a little bit for the Y11. A little bit on his chest for the Y11 as well. So I'm going to go from the ends in because I want to keep the tips of those little fingers bright, bright yellow. Going to blend these together so it's a smooth blend. So that gives us the yellow part of this little guy. So now we're going to switch to our blues again, which I took out of the holders. So I'm going to just put them back in real quick. And just to recap while I'm doing that, B18, B16, BG15, BG13, and BG11. So starting with 18. We don't put a whole lot, but we are going to make sure we have it in there because it does make a bit of an impact. So starting up here on his neck, this side over here as well. And I'm going to come a little bit down around his eye here. I'm going to do a little bit on his cheek. a little bit under his eyes. I want them to sit back. So I'm going to put a little bit under his eyes. This is mesmerizing for you guys. Just watching and relaxing. I'm going to put him the little marks on his little chin area. I do want to do a little bit more over here. Okay, and then we're going to do his arm, and we're going to do some shadowing here where his body is going over his arm, where it bends a little bit here, and then at the base where his two colors meet. Hi, Cat. So a few people popping in and out. These are our Gecko Act Together little geckos. And we're doing them in a blue-green color. Gecko's got guns. Yes, he does. This one does, for sure. But when you see the full gecko, he has a big belly. It's super cute, but you can't see it because I hid it outside of the picture. This is all underside. I am going to turn it just a little bit because I want to do a little bit around his mouth with this one. Then out from his hand, the part closest to his body, the fold in his arm, and then we're going to switch to that BG15, which is more of the greenish color in it. I kind of like them better that color than sticking with the blue color. What do you guys think? Did we lose Jamie? Did she go away? Did get a teeny bit outside the lines right there, but when we do his little spots on his head, we'll fix that because we don't really see his back and his tail, so we won't make any colors there. I'm going to go around, I'm going to hold my marker upright. I'm going to go around his eye with this one very gently so I don't get it in his eye. So when you hold it upright, if you hold the marker upright, you get a much smaller blend line, which is what I was doing there. And go around his mouth. I'm going to pull down from his mouth a little bit, up from his neck. Just want to make sure those blues blend really well. I'm going to come down here on his arm. This is our middle color, so that's why it has the most used. Thanks. This is one of my favorite color choices in the blue-green round to use. I like how it changes. And even though he's a gecko and not a chameleon, he still kind of gives off that impression. That chameleon change while we're coloring him. kind of doing a little bit of that back and forth to make sure I get a really good blend in there. And I think I'm going to go ahead and go over his eye. I will probably hit it with the last color as well because that'll lighten it up just a little bit. Leaving just a little bit for the last color, which is BG11. Now remember I said this one was really light, so it's going to show our highlights really well. So we have to blend but not use too much in the dark area because it'll lighten it up. But I do want to do it a little bit over his eye, but not too much because I don't want it to bleed into his eye. Softening that harsh line there. You guys are quiet. Quiet tonight. You can tell Jamie dozed off. And there we go. So now we have two little geckos colored in our bluish color. So I'm going to do a few of these little spots that I showed you with the colorless blender. We're going to do them, but we'll have to do them more than once. And then I'm going to come back over to this little guy, and I'm just going to hit these colors one more time because now that they've dried, they'll stay lighter than they did before. And I'm just doing the top part of the circle, not where I put the BG13. So it'll make them stand out just a little bit more. And you could do these as circles, or you could do these, again, like I said, as I'm doing them a little oval shaped. It just kind of struck me that way today, to do them more of like a little line than. There we go. Now those should stay a little better and really stand out. So you can do this with spots, you can do this doing any kind of texture. Thanks for stopping in, even though you got to run. The replay will be on YouTube if you want to check it out. Okay, filling in these ones on this little guy again. These are so cute. I like how they're coming out, but I think we're going to have to go ahead and build our background tonight. I think we have time. What do you guys think? You think we should roll with the background? I think so. Okay, so giving it just a second. I'm going to shake it. Give it a little bit of dry time, and I'm going to do these one more time. I really want them to stand out. I'm going to use my BG13 to do the under circle of that like we did with the other one. Just to kind of help that look the way that we want. Okay, so I think that this little guy needs to be standing on a wood platform. So I'm going to choose some wood colors. E29, 27, 23, 25, 21. I've decided to do all E's in the sequence of, here we go, E29, 27, 25, 23, 21. So I'm going to use all of those, but before I do that, I'm going to take my colorless blender one more time, and I'm going to push this back in. Now remember, when I told you that we do that correction, we have to do a little bit, let it dry, and then we can do it a little bit again. Sometimes I blow on it. I'm going to do it one more time. And then if any of it pulls out, I'll fix it again when we get to that. So see, now you can't even see where I went outside the lines. Love that. Okay, so in building our wooden platform that we're going to build, I'm going to start with the lightest color, and then I'll go to the darkest color, and we'll go on from there. So first I'm going to put some lines in here. Like he's standing on your porch. And I am really winging this, by the way, in case you were wondering. Okay, so this kind of gives us the basic platform for what we're going to put wood. So I will definitely come back to this E21 at the end. I'm so glad you like it. I like that color too. Purple's my favorite, but that's my favorite, blue-green. E29, we're going to use E29, and we're going to do some darker colors in here because we're doing our wood. So I'm just going to do some smaller strokes, some short, some long, just kind of trying to build in this wood. So again, another background with just a bunch of scribble lines on it. I feel like I'm blending, I'm making very small brush strokes going well in this direction. You can certainly turn the paper if you need to, but I feel like they're going pretty smoothly this way, so I'm going to stay in this direction for now. Looks good when you come from both directions, so a little bit from one direction, a little bit from the other. Just some long, skinny brush strokes. I'll put some pretty big ones up here. You don't have to be smooth because wood is not smooth. Just have to be little. Skinny, because we're going to build in some other colors and tones and stuff, so they don't have to be any kind of rhyme or reason to them. Just whatever strikes you at the time. Filling in a little bit more. Okay. It looks like he's on a great big tree, doesn't it? You could almost put them like that if I hadn't put the words on there. Okay, we're going to go to E27. So now we have the deepest, darkest color in there. So this one, we're going to put a little bit of this one in there. And then the next one will be the one that we put the most because it'll be the third in our color sequence. Okay, so here we go. Got to get around his body without messing up that yellow. A little challenging. We'll go in his little fingers, if you will, with the next color. So not too much, so it takes a little bit to go around these little spaces here, although I could have probably done a mask and then I could have just colored right over top of it, but I didn't think of that because I didn't know we were going to do this background. I just decided to wing it at the last minute. I thought you guys might like it, so I decided to go ahead and just do it. I want to get some longer strokes in here, so I'm going to kind of do a few of them back and forth. Okay, so it's starting to build, it's starting to do what we want it to do. We're going to go to E25, which is the middle one in our color blend. So it's our true color. So I'm going to put a little bit more, and I'm going to make a little bit thicker strokes. So I'm going to lay it a little bit more on its side than what I was doing earlier. I also want to get the edges pretty good. Let's turn him around. Kind of fast brush strokes. And go back and forth as I want to fill some of this in pretty thick with this one. I'm going to go around his body and his little toes. Right around those little toes. Oh, look at that. You can't even see me going around his little toes. You guys are so quiet, nobody even told me. I must be zoomed in pretty good today. Where's all my California people tonight? Everybody else seems like they've fallen asleep. You guys still liking these late night lives? I know my mom's not handling them too well in Pennsylvania because it's way later there than it is here. Does the time work for you guys, or shall we adjust? I know it can't ever make everyone's time, but just building that little fence and coloring out from it. So now we look like we have a little more of a wood platform. It works for you? Good. Yes, for you. Okay, great. All right, good. Then we're going to stick with it. Okay, so E23 is the fourth one. And this one, I'm going to use the chisel end. I want to get a little more color in there. And I want to do it fast, so I'm just going to use this end. I think it's a little faster that way. Kind of fills it in. Huh? Oh, hi, Kathy. Just getting in. Late for the party, but hey, look, we got some geckos going on here. Aren't they just the cutest? Just building him a little wood platform to stand on. So he's going to actually go like this. It looked like he was walking up a tree, but he's actually going to be standing on the tree like that. So I'm going to hit it one more time with that E21, which is going to be the lightest color in the sequence. And I am going to use the chisel end again. He is so stinking cute. I love color in this little guy. So this one is going to give it that texture-ish look, and it's going to blend the colors together. It will lighten it up just a little bit, so we don't want to spend too much time in one spot. But you can tell how it, if up close, how it's light. It does look like a branch, doesn't it? And it looks like he's walking up the branch, actually. So I guess, even though I'm terrible at trees, and I told you guys that, we could try and do some kind of, I'm going to have this guy hanging out of the bushes. So there we go. There's a wood bottom. And it was super easy to do. Or branch. Yeah. So these guys could all be up in the trees. Whatever. What does Jamie say? If you have a good story, you got it. So now, let me think about this for a second. I am terrible at tree branches. So, if we want to do tree branches up in here, I'm going to need to do them with an extremely light color. Like maybe, I think E81 is really light. Let me check. Are you going to try that? Yeah. I think I'm going to use this one because it's really, really light. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do, a branch off of here. Off of this. I'm going to have it going this way. I don't know. And I'm going to have one coming in from here. We'll have one going this way. I don't really know what I'm doing, but we're going to figure something out. These are so light that it won't matter if they're quite the way that we wanted them to be. But we're going to put this one around him. And I'll just give us some baseline to start with. And then we'll do leaves all coming around him as well. So I'm going to go back to, I think we're going to use these same colors, 29, 27, 25, 23, 21. But I think I'm going to leave the darkest one out. And because I want this to really be prominent, so I'm going to start with my E27. This is my first tree attempt, like, So we'll see how this goes. Lots and lots of branches coming off of here. Don't know how well these will look, but we'll see when we get done. Might be all jacked up, but hey, that's how we learn. We won't stop until we like the way it looks. So this is just drawing him in some branches because we're going to put leaves all around him. He's going to be hanging out in this tree. It's a little wobbly tree. You know how you see those trees sometimes that are rounded, bent from hanging out? I'll make this a little wider. I think we're going to come in a little bit on this one. There we go. So we're going to have a bent tree. I'm also going to put in a few of these little things that make it look like the tree trunk. Got some weird stuff going on. And then I'm going to go in. I'm going to put a few of these, same kind of, just a little bit less than I did on the wood below. It's all kind of scattered out there. It looks crazy right now. But I have confidence that it will all be okay. So we'll see. We'll see. You guys will be the witnesses. Okay, got us some trees. Not sure these branches looks like the whole tree broke. But hey, that's okay. So E25 is next. I'm also probably going to put some blue sky in the background when I get to that part. We don't want to leave it just plain. Probably going to do some branches off of here, because we need some to put our leaves on. So we'll just do a few out here. Crazy branches. You guys are probably thinking I'm nuts. But it will all be okay. I don't want to go below this line I already made here. So I want it to look like it's behind that one. So we're getting some trees, some branches, some leaves. We're going to get some leaves going on. I'm going to put us some little bitty branches off of here. That would be really great for our leaves. extend this one out a little bit further. Okay, so we're getting there. Jamie's would probably be laughing at me. Oh my gosh, what are you doing? Did I not teach you how to make those? So this one a little bit on the side. Let me come over here so I can do this a little bit easier. Coming this way. Get some back and forth going on, filling in this tree a little bit. You can always fill in a whole bunch of leaves and it won't even matter. Okay, now this side. He's got a little squeaky going on. I think it makes more squeaky when you go fast. But not too bad. Starting to look like tree branches behind there. Making these branches just a little bit lighter. See, in that original one that we put in there, you can still see it a little bit in here, but you won't be able to see it when we get done. Okay, I'm going to go to the 21, E21. We're going to use the other end of the marker to really fill in this. Look how smoothing of that out makes it look so much better. I'm going to go along these, kind of lighten these branches up a little bit. Let's try this one. A little bit less squeaky. Okay, so starting to come together a bit. Ooh, that chalkboard there for a minute. You hear that? He is going to be peeking out of the leaves. He's going to be adorable. Let's turn this around. I want to soften up this edge here. Put some here. It's really easy to do this. I mean, I'm really just putting lines wherever, as long as it somewhat resembles a tree, I am happy. And what? No trees are the same anyway, so. Okay, so we got a big tree branch here and a few other ones in the background. Now, you guys gonna try this? Try it when you You have to have a lot of different colors when you are doing the tree branches. So I am just picking a plethora of greens. So I'm going to start with some darker greens first. So I'm going to start with G94. And what we're going to do is we're just going to lay down like this. We're just going to lay down our marker like this, making us some leaves. We're just going to start doing that. Oh, you think it looks good? Because I really feel like it's crazy trees. So what we're going to do is we're going to just lay out the marker. We're going to put them all over the place, but we're not going to do all the dark ones. So we're going to start out with the dark ones, and then we're going to go to the lighter ones and really build that up. And it doesn't really matter where you put them. You can put them any way you want. See how it's starting to come together? It's super fun. We're going to make this like a big bushy tree. So we're going to have a lot of color in there. A lot, a lot, a lot. So we may end up putting more branches in there. I don't know. I'm just winging it. We'll just keep going. Just make sure you're laying it on the side when you do it so that you get those leaf-ish looks to them. And these can be hanging from a branch up above. Just kind of trying to keep the pointy part closest to the tree. Put some on both sides. And we're just using the dark color now. I have a ton of colors. If you wanted, you could always add things like pink for little buds, flower buds. Not going to do the flower buds, I don't think, today. I may do some over top of that, over top of this as well. Because we want to build this all in, but we want to be able to see the branches behind it. We want to get a lot of it in here. And when we fill it in with the other ones, it'll really, really come to life, I think. Or at least I hope it will. Now I put in the ones exactly where I wanted it, and now I'm just building in it. So there's a few. Whoever told me I couldn't do trees, I just don't think I do trees very well, but I think this one's going to be rather dark as well. So this is YG67, but it's still a different tone. So just building in those. Trying to put them in a little bit different places than the other dark ones were. You can do little leaves or big leaves. Your choice, your design. I think I want to build in a little bit more up here to kind of cover up these bushes. I kind of want him to see him hanging in these trees. Now I've turned the way that I'm making the leaves go so they look a little bit different. They kind of go together though. This is the first time I've ever done a tree on my own. I've done them with Jamie once or twice, but this is my first time doing it on my own, giving me a little bit more practice. Okay, we're going to keep going. We have to go with different shades. So next I'm going to do YG 17. This one is a little bit more, it's called grass green, so it's going to be a little bit brighter green. It doesn't look too much brighter right now, but it will as you overlap it. You'll be able to see the different, can you see the brighter and the darker in there? And you can't see those original lines I drew anymore on the paper where I was practicing where I wanted my tree to go. Can't see those anymore. So that's good. Gonna fill in some of these. Some of this tree with this color. Kind of really bring that to life. It's gonna look like a big tree. It looks like I'm shaking the table a lot. I will try to do better on that so it doesn't shake you guys up. Gonna leave those words there. This one we're gonna fill in just a little bit more, and we still got to do his eyes as well. I think I'm gonna do all around him, so it's like it's behind him. Like he's peeking out of the tree for sure. Super cute. It's coming along. Okay, gonna go even lighter now. I'm gonna use my YG 63. And I just randomly picked these because they don't really have to blend. You just have to be able to see that they're different shades. We're just filling this in because we only want to be able to see the branches a little bit. So turning my marker around, giving it a little bit of different angles. Kind of doing it sporadically. Kind of filling in those leaves that are hanging over on the branch. There we go. So he is really hanging out in some trees for sure. We have to really fill this part in. We're going to fill in all this. Starting to get those trees. I want to have some of them all the way up by him. Okay. We'll put a little bit of blue in the sky behind that when we get done. Now we're going to go a little more yellow green, so we're going to do YG25. So this one's going to be brighter for sure. Let me turn this around so I can do them like this. I'm going to get those pointy leaves hanging out there. Kind of filling in some more because I want you to be able to see the branches, but not too dark. So we may have to choose a few darker greens after we're done with the lighter ones to come back in and sort of cover up some of that tree. Maybe I should have started with lighter colors. But that's the learning process. If you press down, I'm not pressing too hard on my marker. If you press down too hard, you'll bend the nib too much. So you want to be a little bit careful when you're doing that. But can you see how this is a much brighter color, so it's kind of standing out a little bit more? Did I lose everybody? You guys still there? This is definitely meditative. Same process over and over. This will make it look like the tree's behind him instead of in front of him. He's peeking out. Okay, still have you here. Yay! Someone's still here. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for staying for the whole thing. You got the whole, you're going to get the whole shebang. I'm going to come down here and put a few of the lighter colors sticking out. Okay, nice. I think we're going to need some darker ones over the tree trunk, but I think so far it's going pretty well. YG03, and then I may have to throw these two in there, or three. These lighter colors, because I think we need some really light colors in here. So I'm using this YG03 to kind of fill in some of the white areas a little bit because it's a very light color. I don't want to come down on this tree any more than I'm already down right now. I just want this part and this part to be the bushes. We can have some white showing, but we don't want to leave too much white showing, especially around this little guy who's peeking out of the leaves. Okay, so let's do, I'm going to use YG21 because it's really, really light, and I want a few of these really yellowish looking leaves to really bring this together. And I'm not going to put that too much into, I'll put a little bit into the, up in here, but most of it you won't be able to see because the darker colors are in there. But I am going to just put a little bit, but I don't think you'll be able to see it. Maybe where there's white spots, but I kind of like them sticking out along the edges because that really brings it together, I think. Alright, so that's the last green I'm going to use, but I'm going to go back in with my G94 and I'm going to put more thicker brush over these. So I want to really cover up some of that, some of the branches. So I'm just layering up these leaves over my branches a little bit more. So I want my branches to be hidden a little bit more. I like them. I'm not disappointed, but I want to cover them just a little bit more. So I'm going to come in with this dark color, build that in a little bit more. And I think that looks a little bit better. I might have done a little different with the branches when I did it, more like this. But again, I told you I'm new at this, so. Going to put some in here. So this all kind of goes together. Okay, so filling those in, looking pretty good. Probably want to do a few of them, like maybe along here, so it looks like it's the edge of the bottom of the tree, the bottom of the leaves. I think that'll help a little bit. Gonna go back in with one or two. Yes, it looks good dark around the branches. I thought so too. YG67. Gonna do just a little bit more in here. I think this will help as well. This one makes really good leaves. This YG67, I think it does really good on the leaves. It helps bring out. So earlier when I said, yeah, I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep going till I like it. And that's what I'm doing. Just going to keep going until I'm super happy. And so far, I am getting happier as I do this. Just a few of them there. Can put a few of them here. think so far I like that a lot. I think I'm going to come back in with the YG 17, and I'm going to do a little bit around where his head is. So I think he needs just a tad bit darker around there. I don't want to put too much, just want to make it a little bit darker so it doesn't look like I want it to look perfect. Won't be perfect, but it'll be doggone close. So I'm going to use this one to fill in a few more of this, just a little bit. I'm not going to use the lighter colors over the branches because I really want those branches to sink back in. Okay, so now we have trees and branches, and we're going to have to do a little sky in the background. So I am going to use BV 45, 41, and B000. So let's start with B45, B41, and 000. So I'm going to do my darkest shade in here, like towards the bottom. And then a little bit along here, like along the tree line. I'm not going to do it up there. I don't really want to see it up there. Okay. Just a little bit for now. We can always go darker, but we can't go lighter. So BB 41. And this one, I'm going to use this end. I'm going to start blending this out a little bit. I want to kind of keep the, want to try not to go too much over the leaves. So I'm just going to kind of be going around them a little bit. Like this. Just give us that pale blue look. Anywhere that I see that I left white spots, I'm just going to hit them with the blue. Kind of let it come through. I'm going to try not to go over the yellows, the yellow-green too much, because I want to leave that yellow-green out there. So just kind of going around those a little bit. Starting to come together. I'm super excited about that. So we want to make sure this stays smooth, so I have to go over it twice just to make sure I keep that smooth blend. I can go over the green briefly and it'll be fine, but I don't want to go over the yellow-green too much. So I like leaving those branches looking really bright there at the bottom. So far so good. Or hit by the sun, exactly. I will have to work a little, maybe tip to tip on these lines right here. if they don't soften up a little bit. They should, but it is a jump from 45 to 41, so we have to just go over it a few times to really get that to blend. I want to kind of do here, maybe a little bit here, and it'll look rough. It's not going to look completely smoothed out right at the beginning because we still have another color, and if necessary we'll add one more color. But I'm really just trying to leave these yellows, yellow-green in there. So I'm trying to go around all that with this color first. Maybe around his body too, just to protect that. Okay, we have one more color, which is B000. Oh my gosh. How cute is that? I really like it. Okay, so with this one, I'm just going to do on the side a whole lot of ink. Just get that color in there. It is a B000, so it doesn't have any BG in it. But it is tending to look a little bit like that because we have that color in our little gecko. So I'm probably going to do a little tip to tip to blend that out a little bit. But I'll show you that in just a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and finish it off in here first. We want to touch some of that darker blue so we can get it to blend really well. So far, so good. Almost looks like a little bit of a cloudy day with maybe the sun shining a little bit to touch those leaves. Spring day. A nice spring day. Boy, don't we just want to see some nice spring days. I'm ready. Are you guys ready? I bet you are. Ready for some nice springy days. Can go over this with my Copics because it's Memento ink, so it won't bleed. So I like that. And it's nice and black, thick black, so it's really easy to read. And now it really looks like he is going, hey, hey, hi, hello. What you doing down there? Okay, isn't that pretty? So ready for spring, so ready. I'm gonna come back in real quick with my 41, my B41, to try to see if I can get this to blend just a little bit without having to add tip to tip. We'll see how we do. Looks like it's working, so. I like leaving that really light right there, but I think we needed just a little bit more of this one in there. Just a little bit. I'm so ready for some nice warm spring weather, and I heard that we're about to get some cold. 39 is our temperature for tomorrow, so yuck. Cold again. What's up with that groundhog? I don't think he got it right this year. Usually we should be getting some nice warmer weather by the time the time zone changes, but we didn't. That looks really good. I like that a lot. I should draw some little ants on the tree too. But I'm not going to, but I am going to do his little eyes because we need to do his eyes. And I want to use, I'm going to use the B16 that we used earlier on him to do his eyes. And I'm just going to go around his eye like this. Kind of fill that in a little bit. Kind of giving him those lizard eyes. I think I'm going to make this guy have the same color eyes. So we're going to go in with those lizard eyes. I think the other ones that I colored, I did red eyes, which were super creepy, but cool. And I think we're going to use the B12 that we have not used yet to soften that up a little bit around the edges. So I don't want to fill in his whole eye, but I do want to soften that just a tad around the edge. So he's got, that's one. Kind of soften this one. So now we have two little guys with some little blue eyes. You wonder if you could color them like a dragon? I bet you could. You know they have Komodo dragons. It kind of looks like a Komodo dragon a little bit. So I think you could definitely get away with that. And then my G00 that I always throw in with eyes, I'm going to add some of that. And I'm just going to do that in like a circle, 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 circle. And I'm going to do it on both sides, and that just really smooths it out, kind of blends it together and gives it a little bit of that lighter color in the center. It kind of makes them pop. I do this on human eyes as well. So I'm just doing it in like a little bit of a circle. Super cool. Like his eyes look really good now. I like them. And then I'm going to go in with the multi-liner real quick, and I am going to use 0.1, and I'm just going to color in this black area a little bit dark again, so his eye will really stand out. One is thicker than the other, so I'm just going to fix that. There we go. Let's do it with this one. You can see the difference between those eyes and these eyes. So when I color this in, you'll see it. It's so different. That deep dark really makes a difference. See how much darker they look? So much better. And then I'm going to use my white gel pen because you know we like to put little white dots on our little guy's eyes. He's got cool eyes. I'm going to do this one. Like that. So now we have these cute little guys. What do you think? You like it? I'm pretty happy with how it came out, especially since I'm not experienced with trees all that much. But I like it. You guys like it? Look, you made it through the whole duration of it, Julie. Way to go. I'm glad somebody stuck around with me. I think... Oh, and my mama's here too. Do you like it, Mama? It's super cute, huh? I should probably use the white gel pen on his tongue. Come on. Hee hee. Yep, that made it even better. I'm super glad you guys liked it. This is our little... I might just set this one up with my... octopus. I haven't made a card out of him because I liked him so much. He's been sitting on my desk, and maybe I'll trade him out, make a card with him, and put this one up there. This is super cute. If you don't have those geckos, you should check them out because they are so fun to color. So one more time, this is what they are. Gecko Act Together. I use the hey, hi, hello, but there's also I have loved you from the get-go, and there's Gecko Act Together, and then I'm not weird, I'm unique. And this one, I'm sorry, I was cold-blooded, and I used this for a different type of card and just cut off the bottom so I could use the I'm sorry, and that was pretty awesome. Hey, Ellen, were you diamond dotting? Were you diamond dotting tonight? Thank you so much for hanging out, you guys. I hope that you really liked it, and we will do something entirely different tomorrow night. I don't know what yet, but we'll do something. You are diamond dotting. I thought you were. Night, night, guys. See you later. See you tomorrow.